Okay, so power of food and nutrition. Nutrition is some total processes involved in the taking in and utilisation of food substances by which growth, repair, maintenance of the body are accomplished. So those of us already know this. There is a deficit. Creating a deficit will help you lose weight. Those of you who are here to lose weight, these guidelines will help you along that path. All right. So the things we're going to cover: water, portion control, number of meals each day, what to eat, so the things that will help you, meal times, tips and tricks, calories and how to work them out, because I know in your food diary you've got calorie columns, how to work out your calorie columns. This is going to help you. Labels and how to read them, and putting it all together. First one, water. As it says, water is a major component of every body cell. Tissue and organ, it plays an important role in almost every body function, including temperature regulation, transportation of oxygen and nutrients through the blood, acting as a necessary component of chemical reactions, aids in elimination of waste through urine and feces, lubrication of your joints, it's a major component of body fluids, so mucus and tears, and giving cells their shape and stability, and most importantly, why we're here, it aids in your metabolism. Now, there are general rules. Everyone knows it's always 1 to 2 litres of water per day, but that changes on your body mass, how much fruit and vegetables and produce you're getting in, and how much energy that you're expending. But generally speaking, it's anywhere between 2 to 3 litres of fluid each day. As I said, it does not take into account your medical condition, exercise habits, and living environments. Though day-to-day activities do increase your need for fluid. Let's get on with that. Now, when it comes to weight loss, in doing all of these, so your daily processes, whether it be working, if you're working outdoors, indoors, you're still going to be expending a lot of water. It's consumed or expelled from your body, which means that it needs to be continually replaced, as we all know. When the temperature of our body rises during exercise, for example, we lose amounts of water through sweat. In 1 hour of exercise, our body can lose up to 1 litre. So that's huge. When we fail to replace lost water and our body can't cool itself off properly, we enter dehydration. Now, one of the biggest things to remember, the most important things to remember, is mistaking thirst for hunger, because the same sensations, they're identical. Whenever you're thirsty, it's easily mistaken for hunger because the stomach is empty. So just remember that, okay? It's very important. So whenever you feel that empty stomach feeling coming on, just think, when was the last time you had some water? When was the last time you had something that had fluid in it? Okay. Now, other sources of water. So you don't have to necessarily sit there and drink 3 litres a day. I know everyone here, I know myself, I don't like the taste of water, but I'll drink it because I have to. Now, when it comes to getting your content, you don't have to necessarily get it from just the fluid, so just the water itself. So if you're eating lots of produce, lots of fresh veggies, fresh fruit, there's lots of water in that as well. So just making sure you're getting at least 2 to 3 litres, especially now, since the competition has started, you're going to be expending a lot. Isn't that right, trainers? Yes. Okay, now, throughout this presentation, I've got some tips for you. So tip number 1, soda and many fruit juices, so those that are pre-packaged and pre-made, are a huge source of wasted calories in your diet. Try filtered water instead, if you don't like the taste of just water, with a splash of 100% natural concentrated fruit juice instead of soda. For flavour, without as much, because it'll give you that flavour, but it won't give you that punch of calories, the empty calories. Let us move on. Okay, portion control. Who knows what portion control is? Yes? No? No one? Okay. So portion control, it is controlling the food that's on your plate. There's a difference between a serving and a portion. A portion is what you put on your plate. A serving is something that is written on the side of a nutritional panel. Okay, so try not to confuse the two. Again, a portion is something you put on your plate, you physically put down yourself. The other handout that you was given today as you walked in, there's a whole list of tips and guides on portion control. So the other one there, the second one, yep. Okay, guidelines to follow when you're controlling your portion or serving. Meet yourself halfway. You can cut the calories of your favourite foods by 50% without changing anything about them, just by eating half. For example, if you usually eat a sandwich at lunch, eat half of it. But replace the things that you usually reach for to fill the gap. So the chips, the Coke, the ice cream, that sort of thing. Try to replace it with carrot, celery or cucumber sticks. I know it doesn't sound appetising. Or something that's fresh, something that's natural. Now the reason for that is produce takes longer to eat and digest than other foods, which means you have more time to notice that you're getting full. It takes you 20 minutes at a meal at any time when you're seated down to eat to start to feel full. So those who, like, I know myself, before I started studying nutrition, I'd sit down, you get through it as quickly as possible, and then, I don't know, 30 minutes later you feel, oh, geez, I overate. So just remember, 20 minutes it takes to start to feel full. When eating out, those of us who have a busy lifestyle, there's always an odd breakfast. I know some of my team members have breakfast out. There's lunches and dinners. Where it's possible, ask for a takeaway container. I know a lot of places don't like to do it, but ask for it anyway, or alternatively take your own. The reason for that is, as soon as your meal arrives, if you see that it's a bit much, or you think that it's a bit much, after what we've learnt today, put half of it in the container. So that way you're eating the portion that you were supposed to be eating and you're not overeating. So, okay, try to eat slowly and enjoy the conversation. So if you're eating with someone, try not to shovel it in, again, because it takes 20 minutes to start to feel full. Okay, now, I'm not going to read through this, but on the other handout that you got, I gave a whole list of things that you can measure up with. So for instance, when it comes to meat, a 3-ounce piece of cooked meat will look like, or should be the size of a deck of cards. So included in that other handout, there's a fridge. You can put it on your fridge or cut out the one that goes into your wallet and carry it around with you. So has everyone got that handout? Yeah? Is there spares there? Yeah. So, yep. Just want to grab one. That can be here. That's all right. There are spares if you need some. We'll keep them at the door on the way out. As I said, I won't go through all of them, but here they're just a few. So just basic everyday things. When you see light bulb, it's not the energy saver light bulbs. It is the old and the normal ones, the globe ones. All right. Let's move past that. All right. Now, the last bit of portion control, checking your portion. As I said before, there is a difference between a portion control and a serving. So a portion is the amount of food you physically put on your plate. A serving is the specific amount of food defined by common measurements such as cups or tablespoons, or that which is outlined on the nutritional panel of your favourite foods. A serving does not equal a portion. Very important. All right, number of meals. Now in this I've done a bit of research. This lady, Norrilyn Mills, she works with the Australian Dietetics Association. She's done some research on 3 meals a day versus 6 small meals or 5 small meals a day. So I'm just going to read you what I found. Norrilyn Mills believes if we feed the body at regular intervals, we send a signal to the body that it doesn't have to store calories, and when we skip meals, we affect the metabolism negatively. But this can be accomplished with 3 regular meals a day for many of us, she notes. Now, Gary Schwartz, a researcher with Albert Einstein College, he answered her research with this. There's no strong data supporting either 3 meals a day or 6 meals a day as being more effective for losing weight or maintaining lost weight. Clearly, there is an emphasis on reducing calorie intake overall, whether it be by decreasing meal size and or decreasing meal frequency. Now, the reason I included that is a lot of you, or a lot of people in general, seem to think 3 small meals a day will be sufficient, or 6 smaller meals a day will be sufficient. It doesn't really matter what you do, as long as you're controlling your portion and you're making sure that you're not going hungry. So the things that you're eating are of quality value, value quality. All right, so moving on, we're going to continue on with that. So the answer, eating when you are truly hungry but not so ravenous that you are at risk of overeating or eating out of control, as I said before. True hunger is when your stomach feels definitely empty. But once you feel this, don't go more than an hour without eating or you will move from truly hungry to bloody ravenous. Eating every time you feel slightly hungry can result in overeating. And remember, is it thirst or is it hunger that you're feeling? Ask yourself these questions before you have your meal. Am I hungry? If unsure, wait 20 minutes and ask yourself again. When was the last time I ate? If it's less than 3 hours, it may not be real hunger, it may be thirst. And could a small snack tide me over until the next meal? Whenever you go about your day, whenever you go about your work life on the weekends, make sure you've got lots of ready-to-eat meals with you. So try not to rely on convenience of packaged products. And I'll go on to that as we progress. Okay, breakfast choices. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Those who eats breakfast here, raise your hands. Just about everyone. Now, the reason I say that, if you skip your breakfast and you don't eat until 11, 12, your metabolism will not start until you put something in your stomach. So you have wasted at least 3 to 4 hours, depending on what time you get up, of fat burning. Okay? All right, so when it comes to breakfast, protein is important. Protein is not just found in meat. I myself have been vegetarian for 8 years. And I will provide everyone with a list of things that you can get protein from. Now, the reason it's important is because it will keep you feeling fuller for longer. Always try to ensure a good content of complete protein. So when I say complete protein, things that don't need to be completed with something else. So for instance, down the bottom, it's got oats milk or cow's milk with soy milk. That together is a complete protein, each by itself. So for instance, if you just had a glass of soy milk, it's not complete, so you're not getting as much as you would out of it from something that is complete. All right. Avoid heavily refined and processed foods, things that are high in sugar, so the cereals. So things like cornflakes, look for special branded wheat bix, things that have reduced sugar and reduced salt. They're the ones you need to be going for. They will not keep you feeling full, nor give you much benefit. Be aware of what you are eating. Again, we will cover this as we go on to reading labels. Complete sources of protein, as you can see there. I won't read them out. There, you've got a copy of them to take home. Now, before I go into the next bit, I'm just going to read you a little insert that I found in a paper in the Age 2 days ago. Make eating well automatic. So this is also found as an insert in Michelle Bridges' cooking book. If you learn a handful of great recipes, put together a quick plan each week and shop to your plan. Then you'll never be tempted to pick up pizza on the way home or those sorts of convenient foods where you won't have to cook yourself. Please try not to settle for something less than for dinner. So for instance, if you can't be bothered, you just think, oh, I'll just have toast. Or I'll just have that box of biscuits that are there, or something like that. Always make sure that you're putting effort into the food that you create, because if you care for it, it will care for you in return.